Greetings, everyone. Our topic for today is Concord. According to Quirk et al. 1985, Concord can be defined as the relationship between two grammatical units such that one of them displays a particular feature that accords with a displayed feature in the other. For instance, when we have two grammatical units in a structure and one of them is singular, the other one should also be singular. For instance, these men are kings. When you take these men, you are talking about plural subject. Therefore, the verb should be plural. That is why we have these men are, not is. And the kings there is a complement to these men. And because these men is a plural subject, the complement, which is kings, should also be plural. Sometimes we associate concord to only subject-verb agreement, but concord goes beyond just the subject and verb agreement. For instance, we have pronoun antecedent concord. Example, he bought the car with his own money. So because the subject is he and he is a pronoun, the pronoun should agree with its antecedent. That is why we have his own money, not her own money. We also have subject complement concord. So the women are queens. The women is the subject and queens is the complement. And since the women is plural, the complement should also be plural. So we must take note that subject or concord goes beyond just the subject and the verb. Let's look at some principles or types of concord. The first one is the grammatical concord. It is a concord of number between the subject and the verb, and this is commonly labeled as the subject-verb concord. For instance, we have the lady is shy. The lady is singular, so it must agree in number with the verb. That is why the verb is singular, is. You also have the ladies are shy. So the ladies is plural subject. So it must agree with a plural verb, which is are. The second type or principle of concord is the notional concord. And here the agreement of verbs with subject is done according to the sense of number that the speaker ascribes to the noun. So it is important to note that notional concord applies to situations like collective nouns, for instance, team, family, government. So we have examples like the government has broken all its promises. So here we are referring to the government as one body. That is why the government takes the singular verb has. We can also have the government have broken all their promises. Here we take the government to be a number of people coming together. So we are looking at the individuals that make up the government. So it also take a plural verb. Okay, so we must take note of something important here. The first example, the government has broken all its promises. When we use the verb has, you realize that the antecedent was it, meaning the government there was used as a singular unit. That is why the antecedent, the pronoun there is it. However, in the second example, the government have broken all their promises. Because we are using the government as a plural subject, the pronoun should be their, meaning we are talking about a group of individuals coming together to form the government. Another example is Gary and beans is my favorite meal. We are taking Gary and beans notionally as one particular meal, which means it should go with a singular verb, which is. The next type of or principle of concord we are talking about here is the proximity concord, and with this principle, the verb agrees with whatever noun phrase or pronoun which closely precedes it. So here it deals with instances of correlative conjunctions such as or, nor, either or, neither nor, etc. Let's look at these examples. No one except his own siblings understand his language. So in this example, you realize that we have two different subjects, but the verb agrees with the subject that is closer to it. So we have no one, we also have his own siblings, but the verb is closer to his own siblings. And since his own siblings is plural, the verb should be plural. That is why we have understand. Another example is either the supporters or their favorite player does his best for the team. So we have the supporters, which is plural, and we have their favorite player, which is singular. But since the verb is closer to their favorite player, it agrees with it. That is why we have a singular verb does. So that is concord proximity.